And welcome everybody to another episode of Glove Up or Shut Up, right here at AngryMarks.com. My name is Peter H., and I'm joined once again by my co-host from Omaha, Nebraska, Stevie J.
And Peter, we have breaking news to kick off this week's show.
Did Detroit win the Stanley Cup?
No, that's a little too early for that kind of breaking news. I think we got a few more weeks before that happens.
If it happens.
No, when it happens, not if, when. But we're talking about Rampage Jackson.
Yes, the appeals court has overturned the original decision preventing him from competing in Montreal this weekend. So the fight is now back on.
And it's not just back on because it's being done on short notice. Even though originally it was the fight that was supposed to take place, they've agreed to fight at a catch weight of 215 pounds.
Which is good. I mean,
well, that's
I'm
great
surprised
for
by this.
Rampage because Rampage hates cutting weight.
That's true. He does hate cutting weight, but what fighter likes cutting weight?
None, but you know that means he's going to be coming in happy and smiling and ready to kick some ass.
The one problem I have with this at 215 is why isn't he in fighting shape? Like, why isn't he at the 205? Because...
Well, maybe he didn't think he was going to win the appeal.
But he was so confident about it in his, how do you say this, original reaction to the first decision by the courts.
Well, his original reaction was also a lot of bluster on his part because he was pissed off that they even managed to get an injunction to begin with, which is why he referred to it as being a backwater court in their home state. You know, that was just bluster and talk. He may not have thought he was actually going to win the appeal.
Bluster? Rampage? Come on now.
Well, anyway, this definitely improves his card because I don't think people were clamoring to see Fabio Maldonado fight Steve Boss.
There's a limited market for that fight, I'll admit.
Yeah, and hopefully Steve Boss still gets his full pay. If I know Dana White, he probably will just go ahead and pay the guy. You know, like, hey, you did us a favor, you were filling in when we needed you, so you'll get your full fight and your win bonus and everything. He'll probably just write him a check and hand it to him.
I wonder if he'll be in the crowd.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's still there watching. And you know what? Dana will probably get a fight for him down the line. He'll be like, hey, Joe, this guy did us a solid. Do him one in return. Find him a fight.
Yeah, but with so many shows this year, you have to think that's more of a possibility than not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that Steve Boss will get a fight in UFC. It just won't be this weekend.
So that's an amazing fight added to the card. And you know,
definitely bolsters a card that was pretty light on star power.
Do you think this actually adds buys, or do you think this late decision it will have a minimal effect on the buy rate?
It may be too late to have a big effect, but to say it would have no effect would be completely untruthful because there are some people who are big enough Rampage fans that they will tune into a show just to see Rampage. That's why he was on that last UFC on Fox special before he left for Bellator, was because they knew Rampage on free TV would be big ratings.
Now, I'm not an expert on the U.S. legal system, but what is Bellator's next step here?
Obviously, they appealed the appellate court decision and try to get it reversed. I mean, it just depends on if they want to keep appealing it back and forth or if both sides just agree to settle out of court. You never know with this kind of thing. No, I'm going to lay a Todd's odds question on you on this one. What are the odds this goes all the way to the Supreme Court? Zero. Less than zero. Like, if you took absolute zero on the Kelvin scale, it could even be lower than that. You can't go lower than absolute zero. That's how little chance there is.
So the B isn't big enough in the bonnet to warrant a Supreme Court decision?
No way. The Supreme Court gets to choose what cases they hear, and they wouldn't waste their time.
So, do you think this is dead in the water, or is this court saga finally over now?
I don't think Bellator is going away without a fight. They chose to pick a fight over this, and they're not going to give up. They may not have won this round, but remember I told you a couple of weeks ago that this was like a boxing fight?
Yeah.
We haven't gone 12 rounds yet. These guys are going to drag it out for a while.
So this is what, round 4? Round 5?
This is like round 3 or 4. We got a long way to go yet.